All right, everybody, we're going to be boys for Sunday, May the 4th. Fuck it, it's a raw feed. We're doing it live in studio. I'm Clayton.
Yeah, I'm Pat. You didn't finish the phrase. You wouldn't say, May the 4th be with you.
Yeah.
Is there a reason for that? Is it because you, as a box office pundit, analyst, boy, are upset that there is just not a Star Wars movie in theaters right now, especially the re-release of Revenge of the Sith, did Bafa Bobo last weekend. We're here on May the 4th weekend. There is not a new Star Wars movie. Is that why you won't finish the phrase? Why won't you say May the 4th be with you to all of our listeners?
Let's just go with what you said.
Okay.
Let's just go with what you said.
We'll go with the fact that you're upset there is not a new Star Wars movie. And you will not. Will you say May the 4th be with you until there is a new Star Wars movie in theaters?
I will not say it. I will not say it until there's another Star Wars movie in theaters.
Okay. And
So-
then you will say it because next
I will
year
say it.
we're getting The Mandalorian and Goobu. Is that his name?
Yes, Goobu.
We're getting The Mandalorian and Goobu directed by Jon Favreau,
Wow.
the filmmaker, not the podcast.
Not okay.
And
You're
which
a
is
friend of the pod, right?
not a friend of the pod.
Okay.
Not a friend of the pod.
Yeah.
And Todd Phillips is not my boy from way back. So we've got to clear both of those up. But
Whatever you say.
Goobu
Whatever you say.
and Mandalorian coming out next year. Will you start off that episode when we predict the opening weekend for that movie? Will you start off by saying, May the 4th be with you?
Yes.
You will do it.
I will do it.
Okay.
I will do it.
That is an on-air promise because we're YouTubers. Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
So right here on YouTube, directly into your close-up camera, you will say, May the 4th be with you when that movie opens.
When The Mandalorian and Goobu hits theaters, and it's going to hit theaters around this time?
It's slated for, I think, early summer next year.
Okay.
It's slated for 2026.
Yeah.
You know, buy your ticks for 2026. That is what Hollywood is telling us now.
Yeah.
You
That's for sure coming out.
they're in production.
Okay.
You know, I would say the Ryan Gosling Star Wars movie
Might not.
might not. You know, all the other movies they've announced, the Game of Thrones guys, their trilogy, all of those trilogies. That
Colin
have been announced.
Trevorrow is no longer.
I don't think the Colin Trevorrow second trilogy is
Okay.
actually going to happen, but I do think Goobu will come
But
out.
Josh Trank, right? The
Josh Trank trilogy
is happening.
I think that's got to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to make that happen. But so it's May the 4th be with you weekend, but there is not a new Star Wars movie. And Revenge of the Sith, after that Bafo re-release weekend last weekend, is not in theaters. It was a straight up one-time affair.
I'm looking at it, and I'm not seeing it.
Not seeing it. So that was Disney basically getting the theaters ready for their Thunderbolts movie.
Well, that's what I was going to say is that they were afraid.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Thunderbolts. They had to pull it because it would have taken viewership from Thunderbolts.
Right.
Like, I do think that there's a large contingent of people who if they didn't get to see Sith last weekend, would go see that instead of seeing Thunderbolts.
Wow.
So they didn't want to steal Thunderbolts thunder.
Yeah. Yeah. It's probably
Which
even
is-
a case where Disney didn't want to give theater owners and theater managers a chance to make a choice between, hey, next weekend you could put Thunderbolts in, our brand new Marvel movie
Yeah.
starring Miss Flo,
Miss Flo.
or you could just keep Sith because there'd probably be a lot of theater owners who say, I just keep Sith.
Yeah.
I already got the thumb drive.
Yeah.
You don't need to mail me a new thumb drive for Thunderbolts.
Sith is like, those movies are like Seinfeld, right? Like,
Yes.
if you have a chance to put Seinfeld at 11 o'clock
Yep.
on your affiliate,
Yep.
you're not gonna put reruns of Shifting Gears.
Right. American Auto.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not gonna put that there. You're
Yeah.
gonna put Seinfeld.
Yeah.
And those Star Wars movies are the Seinfeld to the Thunderbolts
Yep.
American Auto.
Yeah. So Disney just did not give theater owners a choice to keep Sith in there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, you not saying May the 4th be with you on May the 4th be with you weekend, Disney did that.
They did that.
Disney
themselves.
did that to themselves.
Yeah.
They did that. Clayton, can you give us a plow
I would love to.
for this May the 4th be with you, aka the weekend of Friday, May 2nd, 2025?
Number 1, Thunderbolts asterisk made $76 million in its first weekend. Number 2, Sinners made $33 million, down only 28%. No theater change. It's at $179.7 million in its third weekend of release. Number 3, a Minecraft movie made $13.7 million, down only 40%. It lost 270 theaters. It's at $398.2 million in its fifth weekend of release. Number 4, The Accountant 2 made $9.4 million, down 61%. No theater change. It's at $41.1 million in its second weekend. And rounding out the top 5, Until Dawn, $3.8 million, down 53%. No theater change. It's at $14.3 million in its second weekend.
All right. Well, you know, let's quickly go through some of the other stories that are not the asterisks. Sinners, another incredible hold.
Yes.
I mean, it's hard. There's not much more to say here because this is a phenomenon.
Absolutely.
But is this like a Sixth Sense type of phenomenon? I mean, a movie that in its third weekend made another $33 million.
Yes.
That's what Sixth Sense was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And next week, is next week this movie going to make $25 million?
Well, it's going back to IMAX.
Wow.
70 millimeter. They were sold out. Websites crashing. This is crashing websites.
Wow.
Because people want to see this movie so badly in the best format possible.
Wow.
I mean,
this is the Y2K, not the movie, but the real life occurrence that is a positive.
Yes.
This is the positive version of computers, websites crashing.
Yes, because the planes aren't falling out of the sky.
Well, they are, but that's separate.
Well, yeah, absolutely, that's separate.
Planes are falling out of the sky,
but it
has nothing to do with
Sinners.
Yes, nothing to do with Sinners. And
as much as that's going to become, now we put that in people's minds now, Pat. You shouldn't have done that because now there's going to be, look at this Sinners movie. It's the sky is falling, planes are falling,
websites are crashing because of Sinners.
Yeah.
And you link that to the planes.
Yeah,
you can't do that. I try not to do this because I need to make it count when I do, but I'm going to talk directly.
Please do.
To our audience here on YouTube, and that is why you're only getting half the story if you just listen to the podcast feed. People, you cannot blame Sinners and its high demand for PLFs and the fact that it's crashing movie theater websites. You cannot blame Sinners for these airplanes falling out of the sky. Those are falling out of the sky for a different reason. We're not going to get into it here, but it is not because of Sinners. And we cannot have this historic box office run of Sinners, a Sixth Sense-esque box office run, be remembered for these plane crashes. The plane crashes have to be put in a separate bucket. That is not a popcorn bucket. That has nothing to do with this historic Sinners run. You have to know that, and I know you know that, but you have to let the people around you know that. You have to evangelize that these planes are not crashing because Sinners is a box office phenomenon that is crashing computers. Let other people know that is the case.
Can I be more specific too? Can I be more specific as to who you should tell?
Be more specific.
Because I know our audience is not going to do that.
They're not going to.
But every wanna be a boy, wanna be a girl, wanna be a person in the audience knows a bozo.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully only one, but you may know multiple bozos depending on where in the country you live.
Right.
It is up to you to tell a bozo that there is no link here.
No link.
Right? Just tell a bozo, because you know it, but bozos don't know it.
Right.
And they'll trust you because you listen to this show.
Right.
And so tell a bozo.
Right. Well, here's the thing is that, podcasters, which are the biggest growing industry in the world.
Yes.
Soon will be the only job allowed.
Yes.
Podcasters, the main duty of a podcaster is to just ask questions.
Yes.
And I have a feeling, and we will not say their names, some of them maybe were noxious presences in movies like Joker, Folly, Doo-Doo,
Mm-hmm.
but there will be podcasters who, under the mission of just asking questions, will start trying to pin these planes falling out of the sky,
Yes.
not on the cause of what's causing them,
Yeah.
but on the box office run of Sinners tanking all of these computers.
Yes.
And that's going to be the case.
Mm-hmm.
That there are podcasters, noxious presences in movies that will do that.
Yeah.
And we have to be the resistance to people trying to blame these plane crashes on Sinners' audience demand for PLF screenings.
Yes.
We have to do that.
We absolutely. I mean, it is our duty.
Yeah.
And in going past that, I love the fact that now when we talk about PLFs,
Yeah.
a wider group of people will understand what we're talking about.
Yes.
This
Yes.
movie is important for so many reasons. I mean, we've listed them before. I mean, I think Ryan Coogler's coming out party as a major force, a creative force,
Yep.
and a commercial force.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Movies. He's a movie star director. He's a Quentin.
Yes.
He's a Jordan Peele. He's Greta, except now Greta's going to be in streaming hell for the next 10 years, which is one of the great heartbreaks of our lifetime.
And I've mentioned this to you, and you agree that Greta signing that contract for those Narnia movies is like the ending of The Mist.
Yes.
She pulled the trigger just a second before.
Because she did, it got announced as the follow-up to Barbie.
Yeah.
But she signed that Netflix contract before Barbie came out.
That's true. So she had to, she thought it was the right thing to do.
She thought it was the right thing to do, but if she just waited for that mist to clear and Barbie weekend to come out, her quote-unquote child would have lived.
Yes.
Which means she would have still been directing movies for theatrical.
Yeah, because she is with Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers is willing to put out these sort of movies, and they would be willing to put out a Greta, whatever Greta has in the beautiful mind of hers, that would have been the original film that she wanted to do at a large budget.
Right. Coming out in movie theaters.
That Variety would have immediately said, will this be profitable?
Of course.
Because that's their job.
Yeah.
That's their job.
Yeah.
Because, she's a woman, obviously, so they'd have to question that, in the same way they're questioning Ryan Coogler for, whatever reason they're talking about that.
Listen to the Kirk Minahan episode of this show.
Yeah.
He delved into that.
He did. He went there. He goes there.
He goes there.
Yeah.
So Ryan Coogler, yes, he's a movie star director. So many reasons this movie is important, but you're saying this movie is also now educating people on the importance of
knowing what to say. The terminology is important because if you go to the theater and you say big screen, I want big screen,
and you just yelling that,
and you're like doing the hand thing, and you're like, I want this, not this, I want this, or I want this, or I want this, which would be the 40X,
right.
Give me this in my face, on my face. Like, you have to be able to be like 40X. I would like more 40Xs. I would like more IMAXs.
Yes.
I want PLFs in general.
I want Dolbys.
I want Dolbys.
Yeah, I want Dolbys.
And ScreenX.
Yeah.
If you want ScreenX, that's
there should be more ScreenXs, 100%. It's maybe not our thing.
Yeah.
We might not want to get, wet all the time.
Well, ScreenXs are the ones that go around.
Oh, ScreenXs that go right.
So put those in the basement if you want.
Yeah.
All the ScreenXers can go in the basement.
Yeah, but they should exist.
They should exist.
And they should have those basements. Yeah.
So I think that's one of the most important things about this for theatrical is to give people the language and the skills to express what they want from theater going.
Yes.
I mean, I'm super emotional this weekend because of a lot of things, but one of the reasons is because of how successful this movie is and how good it feels to feel like there's a real strong future for movie going.
Yep.
And
it's just fun to live to see something like
this.
Because it reminds you, if you just stay alive, you'll get to see something historic.
Yeah.
And sometimes you think, has have all of the great historic moments already happened.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm spitting
we
up.
always
You see
remember.
this? You got to watch YouTube because I just spit all over me.
Yeah, some people tear up and you spit up
Yeah, I
when
do.
you're emotional.
Yeah.
And
It
you
backs
think,
up from here.
right,
Yeah,
right. It's
I'm
not
like-
coming from here. And again, that's why you have to watch the YouTube version because we're pointing at different parts of our
I'm
face.
like a garbage disposal.
Right. So we didn't live through all of the great historic box office moments that will ever happen just because we've lived to see Something About Mary and My
Yeah.
Big Fat Greek Wedding and The Sixth Sense, because now we are living through the Sinners.
Puss in
historic
Boots.
moment. Puss in Boots too, Last Wish, you know?
A movie that Ryan Coogler said influenced this film.
Wow.
And you know what's funny is that
He's a box office guy.
that's the difference between someone like Ryan Coogler and, say, Eli Roth.
Okay.
Like Ryan Coogler is his movies are influenced by other films,
Right.
and Eli Roth's movies are influenced by his dog taking a crap.
Right. I mean, you have
So-
to go back to the, of course, classic episode where Danny Eskimology of I Screen, You Scream 4,
The number
number 4
four.
movies, previewed Borderlands
Mhm.
and let us know something we did not know, the production history of Borderlands, in that Eli Roth was inspired by his dog taking a poo.
Yeah.
And that is how he wrote the screenplay for Borderlands.
That was the key that unlocked that
Yeah.
IP for him. It's
Yeah.
like that was the thing where he was like, I think I can write this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, this is an historic run. And it is, if next weekend this movie is starting to get back some IMAX, some PLFs, it is a fourth weekend that could do 25 million. I mean,
Yeah.
at this point,
Mhm.
nothing's off the table.
No.
Next weekend, weekend 4, Sinners could make more than it did this weekend.
It's possible.
It is possible.
Absolutely.
If it's adding those high price IMAXs, it is possible.
And
Which
Well-
is, it's not necessary. I mean, that would be
No.
unreal.
yeah.
But it is possible. We're living in a time with this Sinners run where anything is possible.
Well, I know several people who are going to see it this week.
Wow.
So, you know, it's one of those things where there's bound to be people who are just getting around to this.
Yeah.
And the thing with Thunderbolts, we'll talk about Thunderbolts asterisk. You know, front loaded, obviously, because it's a
Obviously.
Marvel movie. And I think that people made the decision to see that movie maybe first because of the spoilers.
Okay.
And if they have not seen Sinners, they're going to go see Sinners next weekend because Thunderbolts will be old news by this point.
Well,
Everything is going to be on the table about Thunderbolts.
let's jump into the asterisks.
Okay.
Let's do it. Thunderbolts asterisks. Do you know, before we talk the box office, are you aware of now that it's open of what the asterisks mean? Have
Yes.
you read the spoilers?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
I sort of I guessed what it was,
You
and I
guessed
was
what
right.
it is. Okay.
It was something that had
Can I guess?
no.
Were they dead the whole time?
No.
That is not the spoiler.
That's not the spoiler.
And the asterisk is not. Is it purgatory?
No. No.
Okay.
No.
Because I was kind of hoping that some of my leftover lost theories would then just fit as the asterisks in Thunderbolts, and it's not that.
No. That's not. Well, they were in purgatory and lost.
They
That
were.
was
I
not
never
a
watched.
theory.
I never
That was
watched.
okay. That was what was happening.
Okay. Isn't that what everyone assumed would happen from the first episode, that it was purgatory? And it was
I
just
don't
that?
I'm sure somebody said that because
Yeah, yeah.
everybody was throwing everything at the wall.
Right.
You
On
know?
the message boards.
And the message boards.
Yeah.
Oh, those message boards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A simpler time. If
Yes.
only all we had to deal with was message boards
Oh,
today.
that'd be the greatest.
Maybe the planes would still be up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not it. So you don't want to reveal the spoiler, but you know.
I know it.
You know it.
I know it. And to me, it's underwhelming because I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Personally.
Does the spoiler that we're not going to reveal here because the movie just opened, do you feel like the asterisk spoiler is a positive for the future of the box office of this franchise?
Well, I don't think there's going to be a second one of this.
Oh, okay. So that's the asterisk, is that it ends.
Well, I see. Without
Okay.
getting into it, this movie will be a one-off.
Will be one-off. Okay.
Yeah, this movie will be a one-off.
So the asterisk is asterisk, Thunderbolts asterisk, and then there's an asterisk at the bottom of the page that says this is a one-off.
Standalone. Yeah.
This is a standalone.
The Thunderbolts will not return in Thunderbolts asterisk 2.
Okay.
That's
Which
what
would
it
be
should
Thunderbolts and then 2 asterisks after that.
2 asterisks
Yeah.
instead of 1. So it's
Yeah.
just like
Thunderbolts
Thunderbolts
asterisk.
asterisk. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
If that were to happen, but it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Okay. So this movie opened to what? $78 million? $76
No,
million?
76. This was on the low end
On the low end of the tracking.
because
okay.
it was 75 to 85, correct?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
are we going
No,
high in that? Or was it?
No, it was like
69?
65 to, yeah, it was like high 60s.
So then this
to
is at
like
the
low
high
80s.
end.
Yeah, it's the middle-ish end. It didn't break out on opening weekend. That's not what happened.
But it did not. It did not the Marvels.
No, it did not do with the Marvels.
Yeah.
It did not open in 55 or 60.
Yeah.
It did not do that.
So that's good. I mean, it did not go under expectations.
Right. So
Which is good.
It did come in 12 or so million less than what Captain America Brave New World did a few months ago.
Yeah.
And that movie's generally considered a disappointment.
Yes.
Not an outright bomb, but a disappointment. Yet I still don't think that the opening weekend coming in less than Captain America is unexpected, because Thunderbolts is not a brand within the MCU.
No.
Harrison Ford, I know you poo-poo him, and he's an old stoner. And I mean, if there's anyone in the box office who's
Plane crashes.
well,
Yeah.
who may be a cause of plane crashes, it's Harrison Ford. It's not
Absolutely.
Sinners. But he's way more famous and a box office draw, even at this age, than anyone in the Thunderbolts.
Yes.
So, and no, they don't come in red in Thunderbolts the way the Hulks do in Captain America.
They come in red?
They come in red now.
Okay.
Yeah. So, to me, it makes sense that Thunderbolts open lower, and I don't think that's necessarily a sign that this movie will do less in the end than what Brave New World did
Well, yeah, because also this is summer.
this summer.
And this movie, if it hangs around,
Mhm.
people are going to want to go and see it.
Mhm.
I mean, I feel like it's, and I mentioned this when we talked about this movie before, is that if it is good in the sense of what a superhero fan or the general public looks at as good,
Right. It's got an A- cinema score,
which
so
is good.
it's good.
Uh,
Not great,
not great.
but it's good.
People will find it, and it's a diversion for what, 2.5 hours, whatever these ungodly long movies are at this
Right.
point. And I think that moviegoing is back in a way
Mhm.
that helps this movie when I don't think that was the case during the Captain America run.
No.
And Captain America had the feeling of, let's just get this over with.
Yes.
From everyone, the fans and Marvel.
Yes.
This feels more like they're proud of this,
Mhm.
and they're promoting it in a way that they're more proud of this movie.
Yes.
And I think it's good. It's going to be good momentum for Fantastic Four.
Are we, though, as we say this,
Yes.
say 76 million, it just barely opens above Eternals, and we're saying that's good, though. It's fine. Movie going's back. This is going to have legs. Are we putting an asterisk on this movie and this opening weekend by, are the asterisks excuses?
Marvel movies aren't what Marvel movies used to be.
Okay.
So you have to change your expectations for
Yeah.
these things, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this thing is opening at Ant-Man and the Wasp level,
Okay.
right?
Right.
Which
right.
those were always movies that were looked at as, this is doing well because it's Ant-Man and the Wasp,
Right.
which is not the marquee characters.
Right.
These are not marquee characters.
Right.
So they're doing what old MCU non-marquee characters were doing.
Right. Right. So we're not, yeah, I agree. I do think this movie needs to, in the end, outgross Captain America Brave New World
Yes.
in order to be considered a success on its own. It's
I-
got to get there. If it ends up at less than 200 million total, then I do think you start to just fully say this is a flop.
there has to be better box office for movies that people think are better.
Yes, or else nothing matters.
Or then nothing
else
matters
nothing
when it
matters.
comes to these superhero movies, right?
Right,
Because
right.
then it's like if you're just going to see a Captain America movie, whether it's crappy or not, because it's Captain America, and then there's a Thunderbolts movie that is getting pretty good reviews and fans are liking it, and the general populace that are going to see it are thinking it's good.
People aren't making fun of it. I think we could say that. It's the first Marvel movie in a while that there's not immediate derision.
That's true.
Other than, Deadpool, Wolverine, but in terms of the newer stuff, this one doesn't feel as much of a goof
Yes.
to cool people as the
Yes.
last couple of years of Marvel movies have felt.
So that's the thing. Is like, then if this does better than Captain America, then Marvel is on the right track.
Right.
Because quality will then still matter.
Right.
And you can make better movies and you don't have to worry about just churning out more Captain America. You don't have to you don't have to keep just churning out bad Captain America movies because
Right.
people will go see it because it's Captain America.
Right. And the thing with Captain America is that is probably a dead franchise that was living off the fumes of the other Captain America movies
True.
that people liked. I think if they were to do another Captain America movie, that would absolutely tank.
Yes, unless they bring back the original Cap, and even then is not any guarantee.
No.
And
So-
by the original Captain America, I mean the one from the
Roger Corman movie.
Roger Corman
Yes.
movie, yeah, who is J.D. Salinger's son.
Okay. Try
Hashtag
anything.
my Captain America.
Yeah. Listen, try it. Go
Yeah.
back. Here's the thing. MCU fans would salivate over an Easter egg like that.
Yeah,
If you were to have J.D. Salinger's son reprise his role as Captain America from the Roger Corman cheapy version in the 80s, those MCU fans would lose their minds.
to me, all the other Captain Americas are phonies.
Yes. Is he dead? This
J.D.
J.D.
Salinger's son.
Possibly dead. I mean, that movie was
I
made in the
think
80s.
He's alive.
But-
I'm not going to go as far as say alive and well.
Right. But, I mean, listen,
And what was his name? Harpo Salinger?
on air, and this is why you got to watch the YouTube version of
Double
the show.
Google.
We're doing the rare double Google. I'm just Googling J.D. Salinger's son. And it is Matt Salinger. And he does have a Wikipedia, so good for him.
Still alive.
And he is still alive, and he is 65, and he lives in Windsor, Vermont. If you are
Good for him.
a wannabe oh boy, wannabe oh girl, wannabe oh person who lives in Windsor, Vermont, we're not saying harass this guy if you see him. We're not saying, interrupt him if he's having a meal with his family and make it impossible for him to finish that meal. But just say, hey, I listened to the B.O. Boys. Glad you're alive.
Yeah, there's got to be a farmer's market around there.
Right.
And I'm sure he frequents it.
Yeah, he eats healthy. He's alive.
He's alive. So just go up to him and be like, hey,
Hey,
glad you're still kicking.
yeah. And maybe do a cameo once in a while.
Yeah.
Do a Cap cameo.
Yeah.
He is still acting.
Yeah, 2021 was his last credit.
Yeah, The Ice Road. Is that the Liam Neeson movie? Is that The Ice Road?
Was that the Netflix Liam Neeson movie?
The Ice Road is a Liam. Yeah, so he was in the Liam Neeson Ice Road movie. So he's alive, and I think we could say well. I think we could officially say well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will say well. So, Thunderbolts asterisk. Here's something that I am excited to do. We were reading the must-read Anthony Diaz for Disney D'Alessandro deadline Sunday right through. Must-read every week. And he did bring up my favorite thing, that Thunderbolts asterisk has a huge promotional partner campaign.
Okay, here we go.
So
This is your favorite thing.
it is
Just
my
so everybody
favorite
knows,
thing.
this is your favorite thing.
I love corporate synergies, partnership opportunities,
Yeah.
amplification of brands. I love seeing that out in the wild. And this is great for movies. Movies need to partner with very popular brands that are on supermarket shelves while we still have supermarket shelves with anything on them.
Yeah.
Get your partnerships in now
Yeah.
before there ain't Wheaties boxes to put your promotion materials on anymore.
Mhm.
So do that fast.
Yeah.
I would say Jurassic Park comes out in what, June, early July. Iffy, but there'll probably be stuff on shelves where you could put dinosaurs on.
Yeah.
I'm not as
Bullish?
I'm not as bullish on the August releases.
Mm-mm.
You know, Naked Gun having promotional partnership opportunities. Shelves might not have anything on
Yeah,
them.
absolutely.
to
Naked
put-
shelves.
Naked shelves. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but right now, Thunderbolts, a lot of partnerships. So they were looking for brands, and I love this that Anthony D'Alessandro says that the intent was to partner with brands that aligned and mirrored the irreverent, edgy, and fun nature of the movie.
I
So-
wonder what those could be.
So these are irreverent brands.
Okay.
They weren't just going for stodgy brands.
Yeah.
These are not your grandparents' brands.
These brands are having a laugh.
These brands are having a lot.
So I bet you these brands have really funny Twitter accounts.
I'm sure they do.
They're so sassy.
I'm sure they do. Because these brands' Twitter accounts are taking the piss.
They're taking the piss.
They're taking the piss. So Tide is one of those irreverent
Oh.
brands. They did a situation where there was collateral stains, you know, because there's a lot of chaos in these Marvel movies, collateral stains.
Yeah.
And Tide was able to get these stains out
Yeah.
from even what the Thunderbolts are going through.
Isn't that what happens at a strip club sometimes when you get lap dances?
Collateral stains.
You can get collateral. That's what I tell my partner. Oh, it's a collateral stain.
Yeah, it's a collateral stain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. I was just next to it.
And then your partners, well, why didn't you use Tide?
Yeah.
I saw it in a brand partnership with the Thunderbolts, and they get out collateral stains.
And I'm like, get off my ass.
Yeah, you have to go there.
Yeah.
It's got to end. This
It's got to
conversation
end. I'm
has
not
to
gonna
end.
keep going down this road.
No.
I told you. I told you what I told you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
Believe
have
me
to-
or don't.
Exactly. Don't start bringing in movie commercials to use against me.
Against me,
Against
a
him.
BO boy.
No, don't
No,
do that.
don't do it.
Harley Davidson. Now, this was Harley Davidson's largest cinematic collaboration to date. Which is that amazing to you? I mean, Harley Davidson has been one of the great American brands for decades.
Yeah.
Since the Easy Rider days, and there was
There's a Harley Davidson in the Marlboro Man, right? How is that not a huge?
but it was probably not an official collaboration.
Okay. What about Old Hogs?
Wild Hogs, because there's old dogs and there's wild hogs. And I think Wild Hogs, I don't think that was an official collaboration. They might have just been on Harleys,
Uh-huh.
but it wasn't a brand partnership. It was just a happenstance.
Yeah.
So this is, or maybe that was a collaboration, but this is bigger.
Yeah.
The Thunderbolts collaboration with Harley Davidson was bigger. There was the 2025 Pan America ST bike was placed in the film. And then there was in-dealership support and an editorial feature for their exclusive magazine with interviews of stunt professionals from the Thunderbolts. So
Wow.
Harley Davidson's official magazine was promoting this movie.
Yeah.
You're from the Stacks. You're plain Billy Earth Dog blood in you.
Yes.
Are there relatives that you have or people that you remember from back in the day that you got away from as quickly as humanly possible?
Yes.
Do you think that Harley Davidson magazine reached them and let them know about the Thunderbolts?
I would have to think that I have multiple uncles who are subscribers to Harley Davidson.
It's all they read.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only thing they can read at this point.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Well, they read exclusive interviews with stunt professionals from the Thunderbolts.
Great.
Yeah.
Or they wrapped fish in them.
Right. But, you would think that
They'd read it first.
they'd either read it first or even subconsciously, the words would wash over them right before they wrapped that bass.
Or they're out hunting
Right.
and they had the Harley Davidson magazine in the outhouse
Mhm.
and totally forgot to get toilet paper. There's no toilet paper on the shelves. So they had to use the stunt performer interviews to wipe their tushies.
Okay.
That's also possible.
So I thought you were going down the road of they read them while they were squatting. You don't think they read them? They only had them by their side as
No, the magazine was there for reading material, but they might have forgotten to bring a roll out because that happens.
Got it.
And then
got
what are
it.
you going to do? You're not going to, crab walk back to the
No.
main cabin. You're
No,
gonna take the magazine. You're gonna do what
Right.
you have to do with the magazine.
Right. So that's a great brand partnership, getting those Thunderbolts interviews in Harley Davidson magazine. Wheaties. I mentioned it earlier
Yeah,
as
you
a
did.
product that probably will not be on shelves in a few months. Disney and Wheaties create a first of its kind limited edition Wheaties box, and you see all the Thunderbolts
Okay.
on this Wheaties box like they're an Olympic medal team.
Yeah.
It really showcases them as a team.
Yeah.
I love that. And in addition, this is great. This is like double synergy here. Popcorn boxes at the premiere were emblazoned with the Thunderbolts image from the promotional Wheaties box.
Do you think people were confused and thought they were putting their hand into a box of Wheaties?
It's a good trial balloon
Yeah.
to see. I hope that there were psychologists watching the reactions of people at that screening to see if A, they were confused, and B, if they were hopeful that there would be Wheaties
Yeah.
in that bucket.
Yeah.
Because then you crunch the numbers, you analyze the tape, and you say, you know what, maybe we should be selling Wheaties at these movie theaters.
Yeah.
People are getting healthier. Wheaties is healthy, or is it poison? I don't think I've ever eaten a Wheatie, to be honest. It never appealed to me as a kid.
You never had Wheaties?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I mean, for us who now live in New York City, greatest city in the world, and have different sorts of diets, it's garbage. It's trash.
garbage.
It's poison.
Yeah.
But for the rest of the country, it's as good as it's going to get.
Oh, it's the healthiest
It's
thing
the healthiest
that they could
thing that is
possibly-
available.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, let's get into movie theaters. Let's
Yeah.
get Wheaties, as long as they have Wheaties box images on the popcorn buckets.
Yeah.
I guess, though, if you were selling Wheaties full time at movie theaters, you should sell them in a Wheaties box
Yeah.
rather than a popcorn bucket.
Yes.
That's what people, because we don't want to fully make people go insane.
Well, then you're opening Pandora's box as to anything could be in this bucket. It's a
Right.
popcorn bucket for a reason.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why it's called a Wheaties box.
Yeah.
You don't open up a Wheaties box and have popcorn in it.
Right. Though it may be healthier if there were.
Yes.
Because Wheaties are poison,
Poison.
to us.
Us.
But
Yeah.
the rest of the country, healthiest thing that you're going to have in your diet.
I mean, I ate greens before we did this. You're going to
Yes.
eat greens after we
Afterwards,
did
of
this.
course.
And when I say greens, there's going to be a lot of people in the country that are going to be like, what are you talking about, slime?
Right.
This
right,
guy ate goo?
Right. No, we're talking,
Greens.
greens.
Yeah.
Primo greens. So Wheaties, that's huge. Mike and Ike. Now, we talked about this because we had a emailer tell us about.
Did we read that email on the air? I don't believe we did.
We did not read that on the
No.
air yet.
I think you need to read that email.
Okay, well, I'll talk about the brand partnership. Maybe if you want to look through our email.
Well, I don't have access to the email on my phone.
Okay.
So that's the problem. So you're going to
Now,
have
access. When you say you don't have access
Yeah.
to our company email address on your phone,
Yeah.
you just mean you have not written down the login information that I've sent you several times over the years.
No, I
It's not
have-
legally. You have access.
I could right now on mic to the camera say the password and the email address, but I won't because
We
then
won't.
people will hack us.
Yes.
But I want you to trust me.
And then planes could be falling out of the sky. Yeah.
Be careful. Be careful. You
Yeah.
can't even joke.
You can't even.
You can't even joke
You can't even have a loft.
because but I don't have it in my Gmail app.
Okay. Can't be done. Can't be done.
I mean, I guess I could do it on my DuckDuckGo.
Okay.
But
Mike
then we're
and
both
I-
staring at our phones.
Listen, that's what we did before, and people loved it.
They did.
If you
They love the double Google.
Yeah, if you go through the minute by minutes, the ratings of this episode, that double Google, I guarantee, was a big spike. A lot of people tuned in, changed the dial, tuned in for that moment when they heard that it was coming. So Mike and Ike hosted a branded road trip activation featuring custom wrapped trucks that visited 80 plus colleges around the country. Students received co-branded product. So people were getting Mike and Ike's, and they were getting entered into raffles for Mike and Ike sponsored prizes, Fandango movie ticket giveaways. Yeah, we did have an emailer who I do think we might have read this on air, but we did have someone write in that on their campus, I think, they were at one of these Mike and Ike events, and they ended up with some Mike and Ikes, I think. They didn't end up with a big cash prize. But I just love that Mike and Ike is getting into the game in this way, because I feel like Mike and Ike is one of those concession treats that we reference a lot because it's just got that great name.
Mm-hmm.
But you do love to see them putting their money where their mouth is, getting the product out there, partnering up with big movies like Thunderbolts.
Yes.
You know, because they could partner up with a smaller movie. Mike and I could have done an amateur partnership, you know, with the amateur.
Yeah.
But they went big. They went to a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Which is basically saying, hey, we are a big boy candy at the level of a Skittles or an M&M's.
Yeah, I mean, but, you know, they didn't do Sinners, which would really been
sure
something special.
But that would have just taken so much foresight to predict that Sinners would be the bigger movie.
Yes.
You know, the safe bet is a Thunderbolts.
Mm-hmm.
That's going big. Sinners is, there just would have had to been a genius box office prognosticator in the Mike and Ike organization to say, hey guys.
The Billy Bean.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they went big.
Candies.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I applaud Mike and Ike's for getting in the game with a Marvel movie.
Yes.
It's a big D-wagon move.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you got to do sometimes when you're making multicolored candies.
And I wonder what their tweets were.
They were probably edgy and irreverent.
So
if you want to get in the game with these Thunderbolts brand partnerships, you better bring it and you better be edgy and irreverent on social media.
If you want to compete with Steakum and Wendy's, who was given what's her face, Perry, Katy Perry, the business about going into space. Oh my gosh,
they wished death upon her,
They
right?
did. They wished that she would die in the cold vacuum of space.
It's irreverent.
It's irreverent. It really is.
It's
to wish death on an innocent person just for doing something that is sort of cool, actually, going to space.
Well, listen, a lot more people know what's on the Wendy's 99-cent menu because of those edgy tweets.
Absolutely.
Of course, by 99-cent menu, we mean $11.50 menu.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
So let's see. LinkedIn and Marvel and Disney leveraged the Red Guardian limo service content piece to reinforce their message to job seekers and professionals. So LinkedIn is getting in on the game of brand partnerships with Marvel.
Yeah.
Very interesting, because are LinkedIn the edgy job search brand at this point? It's not monster.com anymore.
No.
They're no longer
well, yeah, they're irrelevant in the sense that I think they're a porn site.
Okay. Oh, it's monster something else.com.
Yeah.
So okay, they're a porn site, so they are by default the most edgy of the job.
Well, it's about edging.
Yes.
Yeah.
So much going on at Monster these days. Mm-hmm. But Career Builder, Jobs.com, they didn't get in on this.
Well, Jobs.com is porn now too.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, they should have been from the beginning once they registered that domain.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So LinkedIn getting in on this. There's a Red Guardian limo service that I guess you could apply for a job for.
Well, there was a spot of him doing a bad sort of infomercial thing.
Got it.
Yeah.
Is there a chance, though, that was a brand partnership gone wrong? Because fortunately, it seems like there's going to be a lot of people using LinkedIn, other job-seeking services these days, and using jobs.com and other porn services. They have more time in their hands.
Yeah. Well, they'll go to those when they're depressed because they went to LinkedIn and couldn't find a job. So they're like, I guess I'm just going to relieve this tension somehow.
Yeah, I'm going to watch something on jobs.com.
Yeah.
So the people who went to LinkedIn, they saw this Red Guardian limo service post. I'm sure there are people who sent their resumes in.
Oh, 100%.
And the reply they probably got was showtimes for Thunderbolts asterisk.
Yeah.
Does that turn people off? Do you think that's an effective way of getting people in the theater, is that they were just the subject of mass layoffs? They need a job.
Yeah. They're desperate.
They're desperate. They apply for a job at a limo service.
And they're like they're like, this is
previously they worked at the, National Institute of Health.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
now they're like, I hope I can drive a limo.
Or
Yeah.
clean a limo
Or-
or whatever
yeah, oh,
Red
yeah.
Guardian is looking for.
Absolutely.
And they do that. They send off their resume that is like, ran this agency, did all this. Now can I clean your limo
Mm-hmm.
for a superhero
Yeah.
who now owns a limo service? And they get a reply back of just movie showtimes. Do you think they're more or less likely to then go see that movie?
I would think it's demoralizing, and it'd
Yeah.
be less likely I'd see the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. And I'm sure there were a lot of people who were looking forward to Thunderbolts as a diversion
Yeah.
for what's going on, that they got laid off. But all right, I'll go see. I kind of like these superhero movies. I'll go see this movie. When you get the reply to a job application that says, "Oh, this was a fake job,
Yeah.
but here's showtimes," you're probably getting someone who would have seen the movie who now won't.
But here's a possible Cinderella story where, this person applies for the job, realizes it's fake. They have a good sense of humor about it because these brands are irreverent.
And
They're
edgy.
taking a piss. You have to understand that all of these brands,
Mm-hmm.
they're on Twitter wishing death on celebrities.
Right.
And that's just fun. It's just good internet fun.
Right.
And so they're like, oh, they're taking a piss, they're having a laugh. I'm going to actually go to the theater and I'm going to see this film.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're at the theater, maybe they see Thunderbolts, or on their way to see it, or their way out, and like a harried employee is like, CJ screening.
Mm-hmm.
One of the other ushers called out sick.
Yeah, another one got trampled and a CJ
Popcorn's
screening.
everywhere.
Chickens running around.
We need someone to help clean up the theater.
Right.
And this unemployed person says, how about me?
How about me?
Hire me.
How about me?
I'll clean up after the CJ screenings. I'll take the uncooked chickens home with me
Right.
and have meals for my family.
Right.
I'll take that popcorn and I'll shovel it
Right.
because I am somebody who needs a job and I'm willing to work.
I'm willing to work. I used to be a director at the Board of Education, and now
Yeah.
can I clean up popcorn from a CJ screening?
Yes.
Because I need something.
I need something
I need
because this is where we are as a country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I could see that scenario.
That's a
working.
Cinderella. That's
a
as
Cinderella
close
story.
to a Cinderella story as we're gonna get in 2025.
Yeah. I just don't think that this LinkedIn brand partnership would, of all the ones we're reading, to me, that seems like the one that's the most iffy. But let's see. Yeah, those were the big ones. To me, the Harley Davidson one is the biggest slam dunk.
Yeah.
You got a new motorcycle, you put the motorcycle in a movie, you get Miss Flo on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Boom. That's great. So yeah, listen, I love to see it. No matter what, I love seeing brands and movies team up in an irreverent way
Yes.
to both add to the creative experience of the movie and show off new products. I love it. So yeah, Thunderbolts asterisk feels like a run that we're going to have to evaluate after the next few weeks.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
The opening weekend wasn't a disaster and it wasn't a breakout.
Yeah.
But it's got some runway
Yes.
for these next couple of weeks. Basically, until we get to Memorial Day weekend, Sinners, Thunderbolts, and the Minecraft movie really have some runway to keep banking big.
Yeah,
money.
and this is the new way to talk about these Marvel movies, is that we have to figure out what it looks like to be a successful Marvel movie now.
Yes.
And it's disingenuous and it's wrong to look at 2019 in any way,
Mm-hmm.
right? Anything
Yes.
pre-2019. I also think it's unfair to look at some of those really terrible Marvel movies that people really hated.
The Marvels, Quantumania.
Yeah,
Well, let's
yeah,
see. They could always make them that bad.
that's true.
You know, we got the
This
Pizza
could have been
Boys.
that bad.
This could have been that bad, and we got the Pizza Boys coming back.
Yeah.
Got the Russo brothers. I know, of course, they directed one of the most classic pieces of cinema of all time, the paintball episode of Community, which we've never seen, but
We speak its name.
we speak its name.
Yeah.
You know, according to people, it's, you know, there's The Godfather, and then there's the paintball episode of Community.
And for some people, it's Godfather 2
Yeah.
and the paintball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
episode of
Yes.
Community.
They flip flop.
Yeah.
But
it
it's
just
always
depends.
the number 2 greatest thing ever filmed is, of course, the Pizza Boys directing the paintball episode of Community.
Mm-hmm.
And there, you know, then there's other people who say that it's actually the sequel to that episode
Is the better
greatest.
one. Yeah.
It's Paintball 2 of
Yeah.
Community season 5 and a movie. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll never watch, but you know, that's cinema. Do you want to read some emails?
Let's do it, because other than Minecraft still going strong, you know, still a phenomenon. It's funny, we have two phenomenon going on at the same time at the
We
theater.
do.
We have a phenomenon for adults and a phenomenon for kids, and that is really fun to see.
Yes, yes. Well, I will not say names because, of course,
Anonymity is important.
so important. But I was at a family event this weekend, and I was hanging out with my nieces. They saw a Minecraft movie, and the oldest niece, she first of all said, she's not a gamer. She does not play video games. She's 7, but just not her thing.
Thank God.
Had no prior knowledge of Minecraft.
Yeah.
She said it didn't matter. I didn't know the characters before, but the movie introduced me to the character.
Yeah.
And she loved the character. She loved Steve. I asked her about Chicken Jockey. She said that didn't really. You do have to throw something now. Something small. He has to roll it. He has to roll it. And that's why you have to.
And it hit something.
And it hit something and made a noise, which really bothered the people on the podcast feed, but it delighted our YouTube viewers.
Yeah.
They got to see that happen. But the CJ scene went to a daytime screening. Nothing really happened, but she did say there was a chicken song that she loved, and she loved this movie.
Yes.
She loved this movie. And the other thing about it is I asked her what were the trailers before this. What is she excited to see? And her number one with a bullet is, and she's never seen the original cartoon of this, but she wants to see Lilo and Stitch. She cannot wait to see Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
So we got this email from wannabe oh boy Tim, who the subject is Billy and Stitch, and he writes, "Be oh boy Tim here. Lilo and Stitch is $1 billion baby, guaranteed. My 6-year-old second child is a Stitchaholic. We got T-shirts, pajamas, a Stitch basketball. The merch might make its own Billy. We don't go to the movies often, but we are already booked for Lilo and Stitch. I'll see all you wannabe oh boys, wannabe oh girls, wannabe oh aliens at the box office." So, yeah, on our summer movie preview, I think Lilo and Stitch was one of the sneaky secret Billies that we're all predicting.
Yeah.
It's building. It's building.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like I said on that show, if we can get How to Train and Lilo and Stitch to the Billy Club, that would be great.
Yeah. Yeah. I
think it's possible.
I think it's possible. I think it's possible. So much enthusiasm from my oldest niece.
Yeah.
Cannot wait. And guess what? I'm taking her to see this.
You gotta create these memories.
I made the promise.
Yeah.
And Pat, which is how I'm known in the circles of my nieces, I do not break promises.
No.
So I will be taking them on opening weekend to Lilo and Stitch.
But you know what? Have you seen the original?
I've never seen the original.
Oh, if it's like the same movie, I do think you'll like it.
Okay.
Honestly, it's for what it is. It is a fun movie.
Okay. So is that one of the definitive movies of your childhood? Is
Not me, no, but I watched it with there was a point where I was a caretaker for a child.
Okay.
And we watched it.
Not the guardian.
No, not
You
the
were not-
official guardian.
But a caretaker.
I was a caretaker
Okay.
for a young child.
Okay. Caretaker is a word I associate with estates more than humans. But you were a human caretaker.
Yes.
Okay.
I was a nanny,
Got it.
if you want to be more specific.
Okay.
And we watched Lilo and Stitch, and they enjoyed it. Of course, anonymity is important, so I'm not going to give a name or a gender, and
No.
I'm not going to give a time period. But
Well,
I
the time
enjoyed it.
period is when Lilo and Stitch. Oh, it
No,
would have been
it was after.
it
It
had
was
come out,
after.
it
It was
came out.
after.
Okay,
Yeah.
so time period's still anonymous.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge. God, Tom Cruise. Do you think he knows yet the asteroid that is headed his way the same weekend as Mission Impossible Final Reckoning? Is he aware?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I know.
he doesn't know.
I know.
Someone's
He's
and
not going to be number one.
and you know, at this point, I don't think Tom Cruise surrounds himself with people who push back.
No.
And so I don't know if there's anyone in that group or in that religion who is willing to tell him. I don't know if within the Church of Scientology there are box office experts who would
No.
even be qualified or listeners here. Okay, here's the thing.
If you're on one of the ships
Yeah, if you're on one of the ships
with $1 million lifetime contract that you signed over to them,
$1 million
right?
a year, yeah.
$1 million a year, right?
Yeah, if you are in the Church of Scientology, you signed $1 million a year contract to work on a ship for Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And you are a listener of this show,
Yeah.
of the BO Boys, you've got to, and maybe it'll cost you some thetans
Yeah.
to do this, but you've got to get word to Tom Cruise
This is happening.
that this is happening, that Lilo and Stitch is going to not just finish ahead of Final Reckoning, but it will dwarf it
Yeah.
that opening weekend. It's going to happen if you are on one of those ships, and I'm sure those ships are in the middle of nowhere and you're denied contact with the
Yeah.
outside world, with relatives, with anyone.
It may have crank internet.
Yes.
You may have to get someone else to crank it so that you can go online.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're cranking it to listen to the show right now.
Yeah.
They're cranking the side of the ship to get the internet so they could watch us on YouTube because we are YouTubers. Hey guys. And Scientologists who listen, hey guys.
Hey guys.
You got to get the word to Tom Cruise that Lilo and Stitch is going to absolutely dominate the same opening weekend as Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. Doesn't mean Final Reckoning's not going to do well.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that it can't have a leggy run. Those movies usually do. But Tom Cruise should know it's not going to happen. It is not finishing number one. It cannot happen.
Yeah.
And it will not happen. And if you're a Scientologist who listens, you've got to get word to him about that. Got an email from wannabe oh boy Jason. So this was last week because we're catching up. We're lancing the engorged boil. That is our mailbag. Gents got a feeling the Monday numbers will be higher than anticipated. Oh, so this is for Sinners. The theater was packed. He was correct. Last weekend. Also had a no reciting the lines, sign up for Star Wars. Don't remember what that would have been referenced to, but something that we would have said over a week ago. So he nailed it. But he was at a packed theater for Sinners. Let's see. Oh, here's one I want to read. A boots on the ground for The Shrouds. Are you aware of what The Shrouds is? We have not talked about it.
No.
It's a new David Cronenberg film.
Oh, yeah. I heard it did not do well.
Did not do well. And I mean, this boots on the ground reporting confirms that. Wannabe oh boy Matty G here with a boots on the ground report. I attended a screening of The Shrouds in the Twin Cities. Only 5 in the theater. I thought body horror is back. What's going on here? Feel bad for Cronenberg.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, body horror is back in that the Substance overperformed for the level of film it was.
Yeah.
Of course, Dogman,
Dogman, of course.
big hit for body horror.
Yeah.
But fun body horror works at the box office.
Cronenberg doesn't really, he doesn't play in the realm of fun.
No, especially now.
Yeah. He used to more so.
Yeah.
But not now, yeah.
Yeah, now it is sad body horror.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, here is the email, which we did not read. So we'll read this now. And this is from the great Javier, who does our campus surveys,
Yes.
wannabe oh boy for the years at this point now. But he's still in college. There's a Thunderbolts asterisk promotion at Wake Forest. Dear BO Boys, wanted to report on a marketing stunt he's doing for Thunderbolts asterisk. While I was walking back to my dorm, I saw a Mike and Ike's truck with the logo on it near the quad. Love that he's hanging out in the quad.
Yeah.
And with cardboard cutouts of the different characters. They were giving away free Mike and Ike candies and also doing a raffle where one could win a private screening of the movie and you invite up to 100 friends. I got myself a free Mike and Ike's pack, which was nice. Seems pretty popular with the students as well. Shows just how much Disney is promoting this. I'm curious what you guys think of the stunt. Always keep doing what you do. And there we go. I mean, we talked about it. I love the stunt.
Yeah.
And I love that Mike and Ike's is really getting in the game in such a big way.
They're on college campuses. And listen, there's a lot of people who don't go to college campuses anymore because they feel like they won't be able to say anything. They won't be able to do anything.
Right.
And Mike and Ike said, no. We're going to give out Mike and Ike's to these kids on college campuses.
Yep.
And
be irreverent.
And be irreverent. Yeah.
Yes. Mike and Ike said, we could say what we want.
Yeah.
And these college kids will love it.
Yeah.
And they did. I mean, look at Javier. He got that box of Mike and Ike's and he said, which was nice.
Yeah.
So it worked.
And they might, listen, you never know. They could be like, hey, you might not be able to say what you want, but you can always chew.
You could always chew a Mike and Ike's.
Yeah.
You're going to have to chew for a while because they're pretty chewy.
They're chewy. They're known to be chewy.
So here is one. I love that this emailer brought this up here.
Okay. It feels like it's going to be bashing me.
No. This is great. And this is it. Here we go. The subject is divvying up sinners. And
yes, our patented. Yeah, that's right.
So Tyler writes, boys, when the dust clears, I think it is time to bring back your famous divvying up the million segment for sinners. I'm curious how much Sylvester Stallone is owed. Thank you, Tyler. Man, for newer listeners and especially viewers.
Yes.
Because we're getting new YouTube viewers every day.
Yes.
They might not even know because we haven't done this in a while. The divvying up the million segment.
I think the last time we did it we do it live at one of the shows?
Did we do a live divvying up the millions? I don't think we did.
Okay.
I don't think we did. I think we realized that the production on that would be too unwieldy.
Yeah, yes.
But it has been a while. I mean, this is a signature segment of the BO Boys.
Yeah.
It's when there's going to be a book, of course, but when there is a home game of the BO Boys, it will be a divvying up the millions home game.
Yes.
Where we take a movie that has a great box office run and we break up who deserves what from the amount that the movie made. I think Tyler nailed it. We have to do it for sinners.
Oh, 100%. And the thing with that is that I don't think this dust is going to clear anytime soon.
No.
So what's the timeline for this?
Yeah, I mean, I think we do it before Memorial Day weekend.
Okay.
And I could see it. Listen, there's never a slow time on the show, but the next couple of weeks there aren't huge movies opening until we get to Memorial Weekend. So I do think on a very upcoming episode, we divvy up the millions for sinners, where it's at. Maybe when it crosses. Is it going to make 300 million? Like, what's the number that we want to say when it hits this? We'll divvy it up. Because right now, Sinners is at a total of 179 million. I mean, maybe we divvy it up next week when it gets over 200. I think that might be the way to go.
Yeah, it's just there's going to be so much more.
There'll be more.
There's going to be so much more.
There'll be more, but I think just in terms of the show,
Okay.
it might make sense in the next week or two to divvy up the millions. But I mean, Tyler, thank you for reminding us
Yes.
about the existence of one of our greatest segments that we love, but have just completely forgotten.
Well, I mean, it speaks to the box office, although we could do it for Minecraft.
We could do it for Minecraft too.
But I think Sinners is the one because that it's just such a phenomenon. I know they're both phenomenon, but I think Sinners is the one that we really need to do it so that the industry in general understands
Yes.
why this was a success.
Yes. I mean, in the aftermath of the Variety hit piece, not a hit piece
Yeah.
on Ryan Coogler after the movie opened huge and the immediate reaction was why this is a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
We need to set the record straight in the largest way possible, which is
Yes.
divvying up the millions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, that's what we have in the mailbag. Of course, email us, theboboyspodcast@gmail.com. Love hearing your boots on the ground reporting, your predictions, and reminding of us of great segments that we haven't done in a while.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, we move fast. And sometimes we don't forget, but we move so fast that we leave things behind.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for reminding us about that. And of course, follow us on social media at the BO Boys Pod. Watch us on YouTube because we are YouTubers.
Hey guys.
The YouTube is, of course, growing and growing. It's where it's at. You saw Clayton roll that object down his legs when I said the actual name of CJ.
Mm-hmm.
You can only see that if you're watching us on YouTube, so subscribe there.
Yep.
Subscribe to the Substack. Thanks, of course, to Wannabe VP of Interns Christopher, killing it with the vertical clips. And congratulations, Christopher, because he is now a graduate of We Are Penn State.
Oh, we are. He is an alum.
He is. I guess he
Just
is now
like
an
me.
alum.
We're both alums.
He's an alum. I guess you can't say you're an alum until the final check clears.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has one more tuition payment.
I don't think you're an alum until they ask you for money after
Yes.
you've paid them thousands, tens of thousands of dollars,
Right.
and then they immediately ask you for money.
And they ask you for money.
Yeah.
Then you're an alum.
Then you're an alum.
Once you get that request for more money while you are filling out job applications to a fake job for
Yes.
the Red Guardian limo service,
Yeah.
then you are an alum.
And Fannie Mae is already
Oh,
calling you
yes.
incessantly.
Yes. Now more than ever.
Now more than ever.
So congratulations, Christopher. And even though you are now a college graduate, your role as an intern at the BO Boys remains.
Yes. You will always be an intern.
You'll always be an
To
intern
us.
here. And 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. And man, that is, I am spent, Clayton. That is all I got.
Pat, I finished.
Great.
And
Perfect.
you've said it all.
Yes.
There's nothing left to be said. Except for, until next time,
We'll smell you at the box office. Nailed it. Hey, guys.